Welcome everybody to NFC North West Coast Edition, and I gotta tip my hat to my bestie over here. But
Same to you.
great game,
Hell of
great game. We'll get into that. We'll save the best for last because clearly it was the best game of the
we
week.
have to start with the standings, right?
Yes, indeed. So we're starting with the NFC North standings after 14 weeks. Folks, 14 weeks. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It feels like yesterday we were talking about like preseason. It's
Yeah.
just wow.
Feels like yesterday we were talking about the history and how we got into the NFC
Yeah,
North. And
that's still one of my favorite episodes, by the way. If
Yeah,
you haven't
same.
heard how the NFC North became the NFC North, go back and listen to that because I love that episode and just knowing the history, super fun.
I might do an infographic, or remember the documentary thing I was talking about? I might do it to that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good. Alrighty. Well, NFC North standings after 14 weeks in the NFL, we have the Packers sitting first in the NFC North at 9-3-1. The Bears moving into second, 9-4, and the Lions, getting their win this week, 8-5. So they are still very much in the race. And the Vikings also getting a win this week and moving up to 5-8, but still fourth in the NFC North.
Yeah.
So
The Lions got gifted a game by the Eagles.
yeah. All right. Well, speaking of the Lions, let's start with that since that was our Thursday night game. So back-to-back Thursday games for both of these teams.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. You don't see that happen very often.
That's true.
But Cowboys coming into Detroit to play the Lions. Lions coming out on top 44-30. I expected this game to be, pretty high scoring because for some reason it always seems like games against Dallas are high scoring. So
I think Dallas is just used to letting teams score 40. At this point, it's just 40 or nothing.
Yeah. So, which I mean,
Garbage defense.
But here, same kind of storyline that's been the storyline for the Lions the past 3 years is they just don't lose back-to-back games.
Ever.
It's
Dan Campbell, say what you will about him, he knows how to adapt and he knows how to get back to script on the next week.
Yeah,
I'll
so
give it to him.
definitely a bounce back game for the Lions. Again, staying in the playoff run, and I have a note here. They have not lost back-to-back games in more than 3 years.
The whole Dan Campbell era.
That's insane. That's impressive.
That is impressive.
That's very impressive.
Can we go back to losing 16 games in a row? I miss those days.
They're gonna get there eventually.
One day.
I have faith.
This time 17. We gotta dream big.
So, I mean, let's look at the big picture of this game. I mean, for me, the difference now, I myself was at a hockey game, so I had to watch the highlights and the quick recap. I was watching the Blackhawks beat the Kings. Yeah. Then they got their ass whipped the next Kings game, but that's okay. But it seemed like the big kind of storyline of the night was turnovers.
Oh, yeah.
Lions took care of the football and
it seemed like the whole NFC East couldn't take care of the football this weekend.
And the Cowboys couldn't. So I have Dallas for a total of 3 turnovers, 0 for the Lions, 1 fumble, and 2 interceptions. I mean, that's when you look at the final score, that's really the storyline, right? Is more possessions because it seemed like they were both, moving the ball, but Dallas also had to settle for field goals quite often. But yeah, I mean,
it also seemed like the pressure got to Dak. There was a lot of pressure on him, and he got sacked 5 times.
Yeah,
5 times.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is, compared to against the Packers, where I mean, debatable, but it felt like they didn't generate enough pressure. But okay, but this week. Okay, go to your gen stats, guys. I'm telling you, whatever. It didn't feel like it.
I thought we moved that.
Well, I mean, it just to me and and it's interesting because I read a lot of articles too, and one of the articles which actually was from the Lions' actual website was they feel the same way. Like coming from a week where they were not able to generate, any type of pass rush last week. Now this week they were able to generate pass rush. So I mean, it's I get it. I get the whole next gen stats, but there's clearly a feel to things as well, and
I think that what those stats don't take into consideration sometimes is that Jordan Love is able to get out of the pocket and Goff isn't. Goff is stuck.
yeah,
He's a brick wall,
yeah.
except for one play against the Packers, which he got 20 yards. I'm embarrassed about that one, but you get the point.
Yeah. So, but like you mentioned earlier, 5 sacks for Detroit for a total loss of 50 yards. And again, the biggest thing is Dallas had to continuously settle for field goals. They were 1 for 3 in the red zone, and the Lions were 4 for 5. So we kind of talk about this for all the teams, right? When you struggle in the red zone, like when you make it all the way down there and you have to settle for field goals, it's just
Yeah,
typically not a recipe for success unless it is a complete like defensive showdown, which this game,
wasn't.
wasn't. So
I yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, they both have solid kickers, but they also both have I mean, it's true, they both have there's something good to talk
shout out
about.
to the kickers.
That never happens.
Brandon Aubrey, Jake Bates, we see you.
But, yeah, you cannot rely, especially when you're going against a dangerous offense, and as much as we talk about the Lions, they are a dangerous offense.
Yeah, for
If you're
sure.
just gonna kick the ball all game, you're not gonna win.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it always seems that, and I know that like Jahmyr Gibbs didn't have his like super explosive game, but it always feels like if he can get a little bit something going. I mean, he did rush for I think
3
3 touchdowns.
touchdowns, yeah.
It was pretty evenly split yardage wise. I think between him and Monty, but when you can have the run game going,
Yeah.
and having St. Brown back and Jameson Williams now, I mean, this is back-to-back games where the guy, I think it was like 7 catches or something like that. So
I
now when you're getting your playmakers all going here a little bit, you're like,
I'm gonna start him next week, so he'll probably get 2 catches for, like, 5 yards.
oh, not in the playoffs. But yeah, so St. Brown 6 receptions for 92 yards, and then Williams 7 receptions for 96 yards.
Yeah.
So what more can you ask for in your 2 top
No.
receivers and both your running backs playing a pretty, similar yardage
Yeah.
game, but Jahmyr Gibbs obviously with the
Mm,
touchdowns.
what I saw is that Jahmyr Gibbs, he was stopped a little bit more than he's probably used to, but when it mattered, they couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
Once he got to a position where he could score, can't stop the guy.
Yeah, and I mean, you that's a great point because it did again, I watched Cliff Notes, but from the Cliff Notes it just seemed that anytime like the Cowboys would get any type of momentum, Detroit would just either create a turnover or would just respond with an explosive play.
Yeah.
And so, that kind of seems like the storyline of the game. Something else though that is kind of being questioned in this game is the officiating. There were apparently a
What?
lot of bad calls.
No, Jackie, how dare you? How dare you say that the officiating crew did a bad job? That never happens.
I know. Yeah, but apparently this one they were like especially bad, like worse than usual, okay? And I did watch that playback. That should have been a safety. Like the
Yeah.
ball is clearly
it-
on the white line when
That
Dak is getting tackled.
Yeah.
So like
they gave Dak a solid on that one.
yeah, so that's funny.
And the thing is that they had to look at every angle, and every angle showed that he got a safety. That's a safety.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they were looking at. I I don't know how to justify it, but
Yeah. And then
incompetence, that's how we justify it.
I mean, I couldn't find the highlights on these ones, but apparently there was like an incomplete pass by Goff that was ruled a fumble, but then replay review had to overturn it because it was not a fumble.
That not like
Or
that
maybe it
didn't happen.
was.
It's not
Vice
like that didn't
versa.
happen in
I don't
another
know.
game
I
later
don't
on.
know. Prescott's had a backward pass that was called incomplete, but overturned by replay review as a fumble. So just seems like a lot of the officials having to be saved by replay review,
Yeah.
which is like, I mean, fine, get the call right, but if you're gonna have replay review, get the call right. How is that
They
not called a safety?
they get graded, right? The officiating crew. I'm very interested to see what grade they got for this game.
Yeah, super, super bad.
To be fair, the curve is so bad this year that this might still be like a passing grade for them.
Yeah, and I mean, I know this is like a little bit off topic, but I have to bring it up because it's also a very controversial call this week, and it's like the biggest call. But the Isaiah Likely not being a touchdown, that this is exactly what my point was about Dontavian Wicks's touchdown. Because what is the difference between like how are you determining when they have possession of the ball? Like I don't get it.
I
I really don't get it. I
what
mean, the guy literally clearly has both hands. It's not moving.
w
Takes 2 full
what did they
steps.
call originally? Incompletion, right?
I don't know.
I I
I
I
don't
mean, I'm
know.
assuming because
I don't
that's
know. I honestly don't know.
because I agree. That should be reviewable, and they did review it, but it my only point with Wicks was that the call was complete, and there wasn't enough to make it an incompletion. If they woulda called it incomplete, there wasn't enough to overturn that into a
Yeah.
completion.
Yeah, I don't honestly don't know what the call on the field was. I think it was called a touchdown, to be
Oh,
honest.
then
But
they shouldn't have called that back.
yeah, but I don't know though. I'm guesstimating because in Jim Harbaugh's like press conference, he had basically said that the way the refs explained it to him was that like the guy needed to take 3 steps.
Yeah.
Why is
I
this? I'm like, great.
Hey, next week, it'll be
Okay,
4
so
steps.
2 full steps. I mean, do you want him to do like a little spin around too? Like, is that what you got to do to make a football move? I don't. I don't get it. I really don't. I
To
know there's an official rule book that gives us the like boom, 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 but I think that they need to go back and read it again and be on the same page because it's just wildly inconsistent.
I mean, they've been trying to figure out what a catch is for, like, 30 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Actually, they've been probably trying to find out what a catch is since the forward pass became a thing in the NFL.
Dude, it's just like but yeah, I just had to talk about that because
No, I get you.
that's a big thing. But I mean, back to Lions Cowboys. Obviously, this was a must win. It feels like every game's a must win for the Lions right
Yeah,
now because not only are they trying to get that top spot in the NFC North, but you have 2 teams ahead of you in your division. So the wild cards, like there's a lot that can very fluctuate
it's
in
a long
this.
season,
Yeah,
and I know we're at the tail end of that, right? But it seemed like everything that the Lions needed this week happened for the Lions.
Yeah, the next couple weeks here for the NFC North is, I mean, anything can happen, to be honest.
Yeah,
Anything can happen, and the Lions just gotta,
except for good officiating, that just can't happen.
yeah, we agree with that. I agree.
Uh, one quick talking point that we didn't really bring up, Amon-Ra played.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it. We didn't know what the if he was gonna play or not. It was kinda questionable throughout the week, but he played. Like, the guy is committed. He knows he's one of the biggest contributor, and we saw how good they could be with him.
Yeah, he's definitely, the security blanket for Jared
Oh,
Goff for
yeah.
sure. And I mean, I'm pretty sure though he was. I think Eddie actually told me this is it was either Friday or Saturday where it came out that the MRI results were very positive
So
and
he
it
was
was
cleared?
not it wasn't like as serious injury as they originally thought,
That's good.
and he was basically going to be like week to week or maybe it was day to day. I don't know. But regardless it was a much better prognosis than what they originally
I do think that
thought.
if the Lions were in a better position, like, let's say they were first in the division and they were a few games ahead, they probably would sit him for a week or 2.
Yeah, maybe.
But they're in playoff mode now. This
Yeah.
is do or die.
Yeah. Maybe yeah. I mean, I could see that for sure. Alrighty, let's move on to our next NFC North game. The Vikings playing at home against the Washington Commanders. And the Vikings, after, getting pummeled last week, pummeled, not pummeled, pummeled last week against the Seahawks, dropping a bagel, they ended up forcing a shutout themselves this week. So they basically dominated the Commanders 31-0.
Damn. That game was ugly. Not for the Vikings. That game was just oof.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that these kind of things are possible with that defense, but it seemed like the whole team played a lot better than they've been playing the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand it. Jane Daniels goes in, he hasn't played. He's clearly playing through, a basically a disabled elbow. It's not his throwing arm, but still, like, but he was cleared
Um,
to play. So he definitely struggled. And, you're playing against a tough Vikings defense. We said it even last week, even when they were getting blown out. The Vikings defense just continued to play well
oh,
and
yeah.
continued to battle. So this is a good defense, and I'm not very surprised. I mean, I'm surprised about the shutout for sure. Like,
Oh, yeah.
shutouts are very hard in the NFL. But yeah, I mean, I will say kind okay, I'll say it, but I'm not trying to get out of a hand here, but McCarthy had a bounce back week, right? Bounce back.
I mean, yeah. For him, for him. We don't
Yeah.
know what he is yet, but
Yeah,
for him.
yeah. I mean, it helps. Your passing game definitely gets a big boost
Oh,
when,
yeah.
again, your rushing game is playing well. So, Aaron Jones, 14 rushes for 76 yards. Jordan Mason, 11 rushes for 52 yards. So you have Aaron Jones, 5.4 yards on average, and then 4.7 yards on average. So typically, that's always setting you up for second and manageable, third and
Yeah.
manageable. So, you don't really have to count on big explosive plays in the passing game. And there definitely were not big explosive plays in the passing
No, no,
game.
no. What
So,
he's under 200 yards, right? 100
yeah. So
163
yeah,
yards.
16 for 23, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Okay. I'll give him that.
So, yeah, so that's definitely positive. But I mean, 7 yards on average, and the longest completion of the game was 21 yards. So, you could see the conservative game plan.
They
And when you're winning like they
yeah.
were, you obviously don't need those explosive plays.
And I also think that McCarthy simplified that playbook,
Mhm.
understanding that his young quarterback cannot play to the full playbook. He can't do because
O'Connell,
oh,
you mean?
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
O'Connell simplified for McCarthy. Yeah,
yes,
gotcha.
I think he simplified it because he understands that he can't do all of these things that he wants him to do yet. So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
basically got him a coloring book and said, "Here, do
Yeah.
something with
Yeah,
this."
which is interesting point of view, because I feel like exact opposite in Chicago. I feel like Ben Johnson is throwing everything and anything he
Oh
can
yeah,
at Caleb Williams. So it's just, and I can't say one is good and one is bad. It's just different, right?
I,
And it's a different coaching style
yeah.
and approach, and that's just a very interesting thing, because both of them are second year players. And obviously this is McCarthy's second year in this offense, so you would think it would be the other way around.
Real game speed's a little
um
bit different for him right now. So
yeah,
he did have issues with accuracy in college. That wasn't a problem that Caleb had. So he has to learn how to be accurate.
yeah.
So I do think that they need to slow it down until he's able to pick up the real speed of the NFL.
Yeah. So I mean, again, as a Vikings fan, you want to see growth. So
Oh yeah,
obviously he had a bounce back game. It's still hard to really see what you have in McCarthy, though, if you're going to,
yeah.
and maybe, I don't know. Maybe O'Connell thinks that there's still a little light at the end of the tunnel if they went out. I don't know if there is. I don't know the numbers, to be honest, but I would think that you would want to open the playbook right now and see what this kid can handle.
That's fair. But I also think that they need to get his confidence back. Let's
True.
start somewhere and then we build on that.
Yeah, that's true. But again, gotta highlight the defense in this one. Played lights out, literally forcing 3 turnovers on their own. So similar to the Lions defense, exact actual 1 fumble, 2 interceptions. So
Yeah.
2 solid defensive outings for the first 2 NFC North teams here. Better on the Vikings side, but they also weren't playing. Dallas is pretty decent offensively. You have CeeDee Lamb, and, well, George Pickens didn't have a great game, but I think that, Dak is playing his heart out there. And honestly, I think the game would have been super interesting if CD didn't go out with a concussion, because the
Against the
guy,
Lions?
yeah, against the Lions, because that guy was just like smoking him.
That's fair.
I
That's a fair.
mean, he had like 162 yards, and it was like the third quarter.
Yeah.
So I think he would have won for over 200. And
I do
uh,
think that injuries do affect how a game is gonna play, of course,
oh
that.
yeah, absolutely, especially when it's your number one. You
Oh,
know.
yeah. Pickens should be at number 1, but he's kinda confirming. I know we're going back to the lines, but he's kinda
Yeah.
confirming what everyone's always talk about Pickens, where when you need him the most, he kinda disappears.
Yeah.
He looked like he was probably the best wide receiver the first 8 weeks of the year,
Hmm.
and now eh, he's okay,
Yeah.
not trying. And speaking of injuries, going back to Washington and Vikings, feel bad about Zach Ertz, man.
Yeah.
He's such a good
Yeah.
dude, and I
There's
think.
quite a few
Oh, yeah.
pretty bad injuries this week.
There
So
were.
yeah, it's definitely rough. But yeah, I feel that on Zach Ertz, and I actually love his wife Julie Ertz.
I think this might be it for him. I think. Mm,
Yeah, yeah, and you can kind of get that feel too when he was being carted off. So
yeah,
um,
sucks, man.
yeah,
Hopefully he recovers quick. He
yeah.
has a good retirement if he's gonna retire.
Positive vibes to
Yeah,
Zach Ertz out there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, just to kind of recap on the Vikings, because not that I don't love sitting here talking about the Vikings the whole time, but to me, it's just it's like the same old story every single week with the Vikings right now. Is how did McCarthy play? Is Justin Jefferson getting the looks that he's is supposed to be
mhm,
getting? Which in this game, again, it didn't really feel like it. He even came out because there was a play that I mean, Justin Jefferson was like wide open, but the ball went elsewhere. And he and I really like his response. He basically said that, hey, the important thing is we won the game. So it's
yeah,
not about him. This is, that's one of my favorite qualities about Justin Jefferson is that he doesn't seem egotistical, where you could see plenty of wide receivers
yeah.
being egotistical.
I will say though, at some point, if they don't find, like, let's say JJ is, I mean, I hope for the Vikings' sake he is the answer, but if he's not the answer, I do feel bad for Justin Jefferson because he is a generational wide receiver, but he's being held back by these quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know because we have done a couple fun facts with Justin Jefferson, and I don't know if he's going to. I guess we could probably look it up. Let's see. Get his total season stats, receiving.
For this year?
Yeah, for this year. I want to know if he's going to.
Get 1,000, right?
Yeah, break the break the 1,000 threshold again.
T at the moment, he has 64 receptions for 810 yards, so it's
Oh, it's okay.
possible,
That's
but he
his,
only has 2 touchdowns.
yeah. Okay. I mean, I do hope that he passes the 1,000-yard mark. But
I do too.
so
I mean, at this
throw
rate,
him the
maybe not.
ball.
Mm, mm,
Well, I know if you're only gonna throw for 163 yards a game,
gotta divide
that's
that
tough.
by all the wide receivers.
Yeah, that's tough. So, hopefully. All right, well, I got my, my fun fact here for the Vikings, though, because I feel bad I didn't have much for them.
Wrong one.
Uh, alright, because this was very impressive, and I thought this was interesting. So the Vikings during this game had a 19 play, 98-yard drive that drained 12 minutes and 1 second off the clock, which is the longest drive in the NFL since 2021. So in the past
Damn.
4 years. And that was San Francisco against Jacksonville, where they milked 13:05 off the clock. So to me, that's just crazy because like having one possession that is basically the length of the entire quarter is like,
Damn.
dude,
You
whoa.
you pretty much confirm, or you pretty much ensure that the defense is broken. Like,
Yeah,
they're just done for
yeah.
in one drive.
Exactly. And I mean, the offense has been sitting so long, it's hard to, get the
Yep.
juices flowing again. So, like, when you're just literally sitting there for an
I mean
entire quarter, it's
I
like,
mean,
bro.
when JJ is throwing 2-yarders multiple times, 3-yarders.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That is true. And then I got another one because Dill's fun fact. So this will
The
be, and
Dylan
I
fun
like
fact of
this.
the week.
Yeah, Dill's fun fact of the week. But I like this. So if you guys have fun facts,
Yeah.
send it our way because we'll be happy to,
Yeah, we should.
say him on the podcast.
Let's have a user, or listener, fun fact of the
Yeah,
week. I love
absolutely.
it.
DM us on Instagram, man. But his fun fact is, well, we believe he tried to do as much deep diving. So it's the first time in the NFC North a team has been shut out one week, followed by forcing their own shutout the following game. So, tipping the hat to the
Damn.
Vikings for accomplishing that for the first time in the
I mean,
NFC North.
that's a
Have
great accomplishment. I'd never want my team to.
yeah, exactly. Alrighty, well, I don't have much else to say about the Vikings. To me, like I said, it's just about uh it's the JJ McCarthy storyline. It's
Yeah,
going to continue to be the JJ McCarthy storyline. We know what they have on defense. We know it's a great defense. We know they can get pressure. We know they're a super fast team.
great coach.
And yeah, they got great coaching. So really it's what it's going to come down to is where JJ can take this offense.
D
Alrighty, well, let's move on to America's Game of the Week, and it was definitely worth the watch. And I will say, you know, first off, I'll give the score first, sorry, because I know I have a bad habit of doing that. So, Chicago going into Green Bay to play the Packers. Bears losing this one. Packers on top, 28-21. Blasting in my ears.
blasted in my ears too. I'm sorry.
You know, normally I'm like very like and I mean, don't get me wrong, I was like super annoyed after this one because I felt like, we had it and we threw it away. But normally I'm very pissed off after a Bears Packers game because, usually the Bears are losing for the past 20 years.
You had
But
that.
I am actually very like there's so many good things to take out of this
Yeah.
game from the Bears side and I just can't. I mean, I can't be upset. I can't be upset right now. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I was very upset afterwards because everything was fresh. But like right now, after it simmered for a little bit.
I didn't text you for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, one, it came down to the wire, you know, and like besides winning itself, I couldn't be more excited for the future of this team.
Oh, yeah.
And a couple things that just jump off the page for me, first off, is felt like a playoff game,
Yes.
playoff atmosphere for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, as much as Packers fans want to say the Bears still suck, if you're still saying that after this game,
I think at this point it's
ugh,
just
no,
it's just the expression,
yeah,
right?
it's definitely just rivalry banter.
But this
But
time
if
it's
they're
not true.
actually believing that, then they're
Oh, yeah.
delirious,
I'm with you.
So it's yeah, I mean, it obviously we don't know what happens in overtime if, we go and score that in that
I
final play or in
I
that
don't think
final drive.
I don't think we go to
But
overtime.
no, you're right. I think we probably go for 2 and we would
Yeah.
have lost or won the game regardless. I agree with that 100%. But I mean, to come down to the final wire, and I mean, our offense was abysmal the first
Oh,
half.
yeah.
Like they were
33
they were
yards.
so bad, and it was just like again, here we are, like same old bear, same old bear. And so whatever halftime speech Ben Johnson did, he clearly got through the team because they came out the second half
Accountability.
and were completely flipped the script. And I think if I remember correctly, we scored on like our first, yeah. So we had 71 yards in the first half total
Yeah.
yards. And we scored on our first 3 possessions in the second half, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. So when you are that terrible in the first half and you can come out the second half and, start getting that momentum, the resilience of this team, it just continues to show. And, of course, from Caleb's perspective, very frustrating, right? I honestly think he could have ran for that
Yeah.
first down, but definitely threw that ball too late to Komet because Komet was wide open to begin with.
Yeah.
But
To be fair, he's a right-handed quarterback running
yeah,
to his left. That's a hard throw, and
yeah,
he's still something I'm on before we'll because we're gonna jump back and forward on the Packers and the Bears. But before we get to that, some of the throws that Caleb Williams made in this game were out of this world.
mhm,
That we've been talking about. Caleb just needs to take that next step where he's a little more accurate, and
yeah,
some accuracy issues happen. His numbers look bad because of the first half.
yeah,
The second half, though, he clicked,
mhm,
and the one that he ran to the right, and he threw it literally in front of, I think, Loveland. I don't know if it was Loveland or Komet, but he
Oh, Komet. Yeah, yeah. Against the sideline? Like,
yes,
just a little
and
yep.
it goes literally in stride, goes right in I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, that was
Yeah.
that was a wonderful that was an elite throw."
Yep.
So, I going back to that last play, and we'll talk more about it, eh, I do think it was a difficult throw no matter
Oh,
what.
yeah, 100%. Definitely a difficult throw, but a very capable throw
Yeah,
because he hit that exact same throw
Eagles.
last week.
Yeah, against the
So,
Eagle.
yeah.
But I will say, a lot of Bears fans are saying that he should have thrown it to, DJ Moore.
No.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
DJ Moore's doubled covered. He would've been it's 4th down. If he gets covered on the line, it's such a risky play.
Yeah, watching it, like, live time, you could kinda feel that, but then when you go back and you actually, like, see it, again, you're like, "Yeah." It's he either, like, sprints right there, bursts because he can make it. I know it seems like there are 4 Packers there, but the angle that he
Yeah.
had, he definitely could have,
The
ran
only
for the 1 yard.
the only Packer that's fast enough to catch up to him is Micah Parsons, and I don't believe he was in that play because they thought it was gonna be a run play.
Mhm. Yeah, and so which, I mean, of course, it's the same old saying, like, play call because our run game was going, but I think Ben Johnson kinda knew that and this is what I like about it, and this is what I'm saying is the different, like, coaching approach, right? Is because in that moment, he could have absolutely handed off the ball and was like, "Take all the pressure off of Caleb. This is going to be our offensive line and the running
How
back."
much time was
But
at that
no.
point, though? Was it only, like, 30 seconds
It
or something like
was
that?
20 something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I can see why you won't run it because you're trying to conserve
Yeah,
that
but
timeout to go into the end zone.
but I mean, we you could always run it and then take the timeout and
No,
then
no, I
just
get
have,
that.
like, multiple shots, but what my point was is this is what I like about Ben Johnson's approach, though, is that he's putting the ball in Caleb's hands right there, and he's trusting his decision making, and he's giving him the opportunity to either run for the first down or you got Cole Kmet back there,
Yeah.
or I mean, and he even said, like, Ben Johnson after, like, there's a lot of options on that play, so he basically was like, "Go out there and make a play," and, Caleb came up short, very disappointing,
I will
obviously,
say
but
it was a really good play by Keyshawn Nixon
yeah.
because Kmet wasn't his guy. I mean,
Mhm,
you're not gonna have a cornerback trying to cover a tight end.
mhm.
His guy was supposed to be DJ Moore, but because he saw that there was already 2 safeties in that area of DJ Moore, he pulls back at the last second is how he's able to get into
Yeah, and
Kmet's
that's what I'm saying about the ball being so late, right?
yeah,
Because immediately, I mean, there's 4 guys that are trying to cover the flat. At that point, that's your indicator that someone is open.
yeah,
So, if he just looks at Cole Kmet a second earlier and just
touchdown.
and just has, and it was severely underthrown as well. If he, like, gave Cole a chance and threw a jump ball, then, that would've
At
been
least it's a
better.
chance, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That
Yeah.
would've been better, but I mean, he literally just, like, severely underthrew it and, like, it was, like, almost like he was throwing it to Sean Nixon because it just, like, went right
But
to him.
it on the video where you see Nixon is taking an angle, he's nowhere near there.
Well,
So
yeah,
if I'm
him peeling
Caleb
off, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
he Nixon get because Nixon's really quick. He gets there, like, better way to put it, Caleb threw the ball and then Nixon got there. Yes, if you would've thrown it a second earlier, Nixon has no chance. But he floated it, which gave Nixon a long time to get there.
Yeah, I don't know if I could necessarily get behind that. I think that from my perspective is you could tell that Caleb still has the ball, and you can tell Keshawn Nixon is basically like, "Oh, there's a guy that's leaking through in the back here. I have to go cover him." And it's like almost simultaneously that the ball is being released while Keshawn Nixon is pretty much beginning to cover Cole Kmet.
But the original route that he's taking, because you guys had DJ Moore basically have he was in motion.
Mhm.
So as you have DJ Moore running through the line, you had Keyshawn Nixon following him.
Yeah.
So he's running 1-to-1 with DJ Moore. But then he notices, holy Cole Kmet's right there. And Cole Kmet already has many steps. Like he's almost in the end zone at that point. And then that's when he peels off. So
Yeah.
he has to catch up to Cole Kmet. And that's where I agree. 1 second earlier, there's no way he catches up to it.
Yeah.
But it's still a
Or a better
sm
ball.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Either you throw it earlier or you throw it to the back of the end zone because he's clearly behind him. Like he has him beat. And in any NFL standard, he has him beat. But again, it's that one or the other, right? You throw it earlier or you throw it to the back of the end
I
zone.
think it's a combination of it was a little bit late, but it was also really good football play by Keyshawn Nixon, which he did a lot of dumb this whole game. But I
Yeah.
do think that he was smart enough to be like, "Hey, if I let go of my assignment," which is a dangerous thing to do, by the way, in most games. If I let him go, the safety should cover him.
I would say it was a good play to peel off, but I can't get behind like, if that ball is in the back of the end zone, Keyshawn, the play it doesn't become an interception, first off. That
Oh, no,
doesn't
but he could
happen at
probably bat
all.
it away or
Mm,
something.
and potentially, yes, but it doesn't, like I mean, yeah, it just
It was
it's definitely a bad ball on the quarterback, more so than a good play on the defense, in my opinion.
okay. So, I'm not disagreeing. I think that it was a late throw, but it's a hard throw. I
Yeah.
again, if you watch the side view of, Keyshawn, he does have it's a good play for him too. It's
Mhm,
like a equal parts.
mhm.
Uh, but I do think that the smart play would have been, "Let's run for a first down."
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
he could have run out of bounds, and then you save that timeout. You save you pretty much save the game at that point, and I think if they get the first down, they score, and they go for the two-point conversion.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, like I said, the bigger picture is, obviously would have loved to, leave Lambeau with a win, but especially with the fact of like, because obviously, there was some piss poor tackling in this game on the Bears end. And,
Fair. You let a
again, we're
cornerback
having our like third, fourth stringer running back. And then three other guys, just like Josh Jacobs, just runs through four
uh,
Bears
for the
players
first down, right?
for, yeah.
Ok
So
well,
it's like,
you guys were good at stopping the run for the most part, except for the when it mattered. In those positions where you needed to stop Josh Jacobs, you couldn't stop him.
well, yeah, but I mean, we were struggling a bit in the zone runs, and
Yeah.
you could tell that like Demarco Jackson does not have the speed nor the instinct that Tremaine
No.
Edmonds has. So it was very very rough sledding for
It
and TJ Edwards I think is still getting into football shape. So
well,
it's just again, I have to be proud of them because it's not, we're missing some big key pieces, and then it didn't freaking help that Kyler Gordon gets re-injured in pregame. So now we're back to fucking CJ Gardner Johnson, who
he
just
got burned.
like, yeah, was just continuously to get burned on crosser routes. Like, the
I
man must be slow now
but
because
to be f okay, so I need to add some stuff because we haven't really talked about the Packers at all. Uh, we'll go to the Bears right now with the defense. You guys called a dumb play or dumb strategy against Jordan Love. Let's be honest.
Mhm.
I do think that you guys got it close. Your offense kept you in this game, and you guys are opportunistic. You guys are the most opportunistic defense in the league, but you guys could still get burned. Why would you blitz, full blitz, more than any other team has against the Packers, knowing that Jordan Love this year has been the best quarterback against the blitz?
I don't know. I could
And
ask Dennis Allen for you.
exactly. The point I'm trying to get at, if you know and I'll be honest, I'm biased, but he is statistically the best quarterback against the blitz this year. Why would you send literally everyone and you would leave the fastest wide receiver on the field, Christian Watson, completely open at
I
that point?
I 100% agree. I mean, we saw what happened when we didn't blitz and we just played zone. Just threw the ball right to us.
Yeah, but it happens. I'm okay. I'll live with that.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that I agree. I don't understand why you and I mean that was after the he continued to call blitzes after we either sat back and played zone or played man, and I think that one,
Jordan Love is good against man,
it's
though.
very well. I was getting to that. One, I think it's very, very risky. Playing man with a super speedy receiver and Christian Watson, who we're already down our top corners. So like, uh, and then he's gonna line him up in the slot. So then you got fucking C.J. Gardner Johnson guarding him. Like it's
That
just
was terrible. I don't know. He got burned. The 2 touchdowns were on CJ Gardner Johnson,
yeah.
and he let a cornerback catch a touchdown.
Yeah. Well, that one honestly, I think was on Jalen Johnson.
Oh, okay. So I
I
just heard
I think
Johnson.
yeah, I think that like it had to, in my opinion, it had to been a blown coverage because, and it makes sense because, like I said, this is Jalen Johnson needs to get back into football shape too, bro. But yeah, I think that that was definitely his man to cover because Jaquan had to like run across the fucking field to
I
catch up
remember
to
they
Bo
said something
Mountain.
about that
So
on
I
the.
don't think that that is his man, and if it is, then that's on Jaquan. But you
I
know,
I do agree because I think I heard Johnson and I just assumed,
mm,
but you're right, and I think they talked about that he needed to basically keep up with his assignment. You can't expect the safety to be able to sprint there that quick.
yeah,
But to add to the Packers right now, I do think that normally I would go from one of these games and be like, "Oh yeah, we dominated or we didn't. This is my criticism." I actually don't have many criticisms for the Packers. Yeah, he threw a interception. That's fine. I'll live with that. We've talked about that. Like, I would rather have him throw a pick than him be super conservative or have Matt LaFleur call the most conservative game of his life and just run on the stupidest plays. I'll live with a interception because you could see what he could do when he's aggressive. He could throw downfield. He could get these. Yes, the defense helped. It you could only take what the defense gives you. But Jordan Love played. I think he played a great game,
mhm,
and I think that the wide receivers are finally starting to get healthy. Christian Watson coming back into this team has added a dynamic element that the Packers haven't had since we lost Kraft.
yeah.
And I do think that the Packers are finally getting to a place that I'm like, oh, maybe they could contend. I'm not there yet because we still have holes, right? But they're contending. But the reason I bring all this up is I would love to have gone from this game and been like, yeah, we're the best team in the NFC North. But that team, both teams were so even in that second half that I feel like it was anybody's game at the end of the game.
And that's, one of the main reasons where like you said, I can't be too upset, because to me, it's not surprising, right? This is what the Packers are supposed to be doing this
Yeah.
year. This is the whole reason, we talk about it all the time, that they went out and got Micah Parsons
Hmm.
because like Guten, whatever the fuck his name is, literally said
Couldn't
it's
guess.
yeah, it's time for us to do something,
Yeah.
Like we keep making the playoffs, it's time for us to do something. And so like of course from a Packers perspective, yes, like the you're supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be contending right now. And so, like you guys are doing what you're supposed to do, right? And you want to continue to elevate your game, and like you're saying, all the receivers are starting to really get it together in the sense of like they know their roles, and they're really starting to, step up for these big explosive plays. And of course, like I got to give Jordan Love credit cuz yeah, he's got very nice touch passes. Like they're really good long deep passes, and you could tell that that's an Aaron Rodgers effect for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Like, it's so similar, and, this
Even the
is
way he throws the ball off platform,
yeah,
that's Aaron
it's
Rodgers.
yeah, and so, that's the benefit, though, of sitting as a starter, for your first 3 years in the NFL, because when you really think about it, you have these young quarterbacks that are thrusted into the fire, and besides the off season, they don't have the regular season to perfect their
Yeah.
craft, right? They're game planning. They're working on whatever the offensive plays that are being implemented. And I'm not saying backup quarterbacks don't, because of course they need to know the game plan, but they're not sitting there getting the reps through practice as, hey, this is what these teams like to play.
Yeah.
This is the type of coverage. No, they're doing like working on whatever they need to work on to eventually
I mean,
become a starter in the NFL.
there's a reason why backups look terrible when they come into a game when someone gets injured, and then the next week they look a lot better because they actually get first team reps. That
Yeah.
is an important aspect of this whole game.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, my hope is that because, you can tell that that's something that Caleb really lacks
Mhm.
in his game is, the more finesse passes and the nice deep balls. And like to me, that throw to Cole Kmet, I could see Jordan Love making that throw.
Yeah.
I could see that being finessed over the defense to the back of the end zone where it just falls into Cole Kmet's hands. And so so you could just tell the complete
Mhm.
difference in, learning under a Hall of Fame quarterback versus like relying on my college skills where now you're playing a complete different beast of athletes
Yes.
and learning as you go. Like you could see that. And that's why I said about JJ McCarthy last week is I just think he would really benefit from
Yeah.
I think Caleb's too far deep in. We can't go backwards. Like we're just like
Yeah.
we're just where he
And
like he
and
needs to do this in the off
but
season.
here's the
That's all
thing.
I'm saying.
I saw more in year 1 of Caleb Williams, even under Eberflus or whatever the beard. I saw more under that mess of a coaching organization, everything, right? The coaching was just garbage. I saw more from Caleb than I did from JJ this whole year. And JJ has probably a top 5 coach. And
Yeah.
that's where I'm like questioning, can JJ do it? Maybe, maybe not. I think Caleb could do it. We've
Yeah.
seen this whole year Caleb could do it.
Yeah.
He just needs to work on some accuracy things and finessing, like you said. This is year 2.
Yep, I agree. And like I said, is it just it's like he's just an off season away
Yeah.
from, really, really getting to that. And, I've made the comparison with excuse me, with, Josh Allen being as shitty as he was his first couple years, and you can tell that he just continued to work on it. And don't get me wrong, he does kind of lack some of those like more finesse passes, but his accuracy has just greatly improved from when he first came into the league. And that's just what my hope is for Caleb because he's got a very unique skill set. I mean, he is not easy to
No.
tackle.
Did you
And
did you
I
see what
mean,
Micah Parsons was asked?
mm-mm.
I made a whole skit on this too just because it was so funny. But Micah Parsons was asked, like, what is it like, chasing Caleb Williams for 4 quarters? He's like, "I'm gonna be honest, man, it's mad annoying. It's mad annoying." He's like, "When you're just in," and he starts explaining, he's like, "I'm gonna get him once. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him, watch."
Michael, what's it like chasing around Caleb Williams for 4 quarters?
I'm not gonna lie, mad annoying. Mad annoying.
But you could tell that he's just gassed.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I have a point
There was a play though where Caleb
Yeah.
outran him. That was like very impressive.
Yeah, well, the thing is that Micah Parsons is a faster
Yeah.
he's way faster than Caleb, but Caleb is shiftier,
Mhm.
and that shiftiness is so hard to catch.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about this whole I'll get to it. I want you to continue on, and I have a point about the Packers and the Bears right now that's been kinda sitting on me since this game.
I mean, I don't really think I have anything else. Like,
Well, what I was gonna say is that normally I'm like, "Okay, we won, this is a great win." What this game felt to me was like the rekindling of our rivalry.
mhm,
Because it's felt like for, like, almost a decade that the Bears haven't really been able to compete. There's been some years, yeah, you had your years where you guys have gone to the playoffs, but it's never felt like, "Oh, it's on. We both have young teams that could continue on for 10 years where we're gonna be punching back and forward." This is the one time I'm like, "No, that game felt so even that I didn't know if we were gonna win or lose." And then I thought about this too. Our defense is troublesome for so many quarterbacks, right? Because they're fast. We're the fastest,
mhm,
one of the fastest and youngest defenses in the league. What do you need to combat a extremely fast defense, a shifty, fast quarterback?
mhm,
We couldn't catch up to Caleb Williams.
mhm.
Let's be so honest. He is so quick and so shifty that Micah Parsons couldn't catch up to him. We got 1 sack.
Yeah.
So I'm like, your offense is built to go against our defense, and our defense is built to go against your offense. It's going to be a 1-to-1 punch.
Yeah.
You gassed us by the end of that game. every defensive player was so gassed that you guys could run the ball on us.
Yeah, for sure. It is a definitely like interesting dynamic to say the least, because like I definitely see what your point is. And the other way that you combat a pretty elite defensive line and elite pass rush is having a pretty good run game.
Yeah,
And, we couldn't get anything going in the first half, but like you said, the second half was completely different. And we were getting 4 or 5 yards a pop.
yeah.
And, that keeps you in those third and manageable. And that played a big part in why we were able to, score out of our three
It,
first possessions.
if
So
I recall, one of your drives was pretty long. I think it was like 10 minutes or 9 minutes long.
yeah, there definitely was, and that felt, it felt good for sure because that's always been kind of the storyline, with the Packers Bears rivalry. It's always been Packers offense versus Bears defense. And so that's why I said this is like a very interesting dynamic because it's not like the Bears defense is bad. I mean, I know if you look at stats and you see, oh, they give up all these yards, they gave up big plays, and that's true. But one, we've never been completely healthy. We have a lot of great defensive backs who just can't keep it together. But we are able to create turnovers,
Yeah,
and that's one thing that the Bears have always been really good at, over all the years. And so I do like that they maintain that identity
yeah.
because that is an important part to, Chicago defense. But yeah, to just piggyback on your point is like uh, as a Bears fan, you can't be upset about this game. You can be upset about the loss, but you can't be upset because this just goes to show that we can play. This is now back-to-back weeks that we can compete with playoff rosters.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of, talk in the background. There's been a lot of noise basically of how the Bears can't play against good teams. And I know Philadelphia is struggling right now, but I don't really think that's a roster issue. I think it's like a usage issue. Like there's something going on with
I hate,
their play calls,
I
or
hate,
I don't honestly, I don't know. I don't know. They don't know because
I
they would have
hate,
figured it out.
I text you this every week. I hate watching Eagles football. It is the most boring. There was 6 turnovers, and it was the most. Besides the turnovers, it was the most boring thing I've ever seen. The turnovers were exciting, but you shouldn't be watching a game because your one team's gonna have 6 turnovers or
Yeah.
4 interceptions or whatever the hell it was. I hate it, but they still are the Super Bowl champs,
Yeah.
and you knocked out the Super Bowl champs. So let's just be honest. They didn't come prepared, or whatever the they're dealing with. You beat the Super Bowl champs. And that you can't take that away.
Yeah.
We didn't beat
Let's
them, the Lions didn't beat them, the Vikings can't beat them, so
let's talk about a little bit though because there's these storylines before the game were really funny to me, but the whole Ben Johnson, Matt LaFleur. Okay, people like took that to a whole new level, by the way.
yeah,
I mean,
'cause
every head coach that becomes a Bears coach, right? Always makes some type of comment about the Packers because they know we hate the Packers.
yeah,
So this one comment that was made months ago all of a sudden resurfaced and was like, "Dang, Matt LaFleur, Ben Johnson's talking about you," and like, of course, you know. Matt LaFleur's like, oh, like just like playing it off. But then I forgot who the other coach was, but he was like, no, we take that personal. And it was just like, oh my
Halfley maybe?
I honestly, I couldn't remember.
Halfley's intense, like, if you
Yeah,
ever see his face, he's like,
yeah. And and then the icy handshake
"Yeah,
afterwards, like, ooh,
I love it,
I know. It's like,
here's
ooh,
the
this
thing,
really is gonna happen.
I'm tired of the, like, friendly not even bad, just friendliness that our coaches have had.
Yeah,
I'm done with it.
yeah,
Done.
yeah,
We
yeah.
don't need it.
Well, and it honestly, it sends a message to your players.
Yeah,
It's like I'm not happy we lost this game,
yeah.
or hey, we won, but on to the next. Like it's
The
just it was just funny though how
Yeah.
like the media was
Well, the
blowing that
clip that they
up
went
and
with a lot was the I like beating the Packers twice a year.
That's what I'm saying.
But then the new one that came out this week was that they asked him if they were friends or something like that. Like, oh, do you
Oh,
know him personally? He's like, I don't know him personally. Like, I don't really
yeah.
know him.
I
Because I think
mean,
they're bringing up that old clip. And then he's like, I don't know him. And I guess he like his attitude was like, why should I know him kind of situation, which is fair. Like, you don't know him. You don't know him.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you going to hang out with another coach?
yeah.
So, but the media took it as, oh, he's throwing shade at him because he doesn't want to get to know Matt
Yeah,
LaFleur. I'm
but-
like, eh,
Yeah, it was funny.
I love it.
I honestly though, the other thing I want to talk about though is I don't understand what Micah Parsons was saying in his presser before. When they asked when like Green Bay media asked about the rivalry with the Bears, I honestly have no clue what Micah Parsons was saying. He was basically saying like I'm just the disrespect, man, the disrespect. What
I
disrespect, bro?
Here's the thing. I
We
think
haven't even played.
I think Micah,
Like,
because Micah
what?
was saying that he'll learn or Caleb's gonna no, whatever. I don't care. I think Micah is literally psyching himself into the situation. He's like, oh yeah, disrespect this and that. He's trying to get into this mind.
Maybe because I was legit like wondering like what did the Bears player say something like I was trying to look up what he was talking about. I was like, oh, like Bears disrespect towards Mike. I couldn't find anything. I was just like, I don't know what this guy is talking about. I have no
I don't.
idea.
But I'm with it. I love it. But here's the thing. Remember when we did all the history about the NFC North and
Yeah.
how players would just say the most random, unprovoked.
Yeah,
It feels like the starting again, and I love it.
yeah,
Because we haven't had the rivalry hasn't felt this rekindled in so long that if they're gonna talk, I mean, they were fighting on the damn field. They were
Yeah.
punching each other.
yeah,
We got flagged for one of your players choking us out.
yeah. Did he choke out or did he just like push you?
He put his hand in his throat,
Oh.
and then Keyshawn Nixon pushed his hand away, and Keyshawn Nixon got flagged for pushing his hand away. Real side note on this, we talked about things not being a catch.
Mhm.
That Colston Loveland, what was it? Fumble, incomplete was dumb.
Trying to recall.
So I've looked at every angle, and they said it was a fumble, and then they said it was an incomplete. That ball never touches the ground.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about.
So that
Well,
was like,
see, well, that's what I'm saying is that how did they determine
know.
that it's a catch?
I don't know.
Because
they said
I
it was,
mean-
and then it was a fumble. And then they said,
And then they said it was an incomplete pass. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying is how do we determine when it becomes a catch?
But-
It's the same thing.
because it goes back to the refs being dumb as hell, which,
Mhm.
you know what, I'm going to let it slide. It happens, right? It happened. And that wasn't a deciding factor. I don't care too much about that. But that ball never hits the ground. So if it's not a catch, it's an interception. But if it's a catch, it's a fumble. So either way, I'm like, wait.
Yeah,
That wouldn't make
I do
no
know.
sense.
I do know the play that you're talking about, and I mean, from the replays though, it was hard to see what happens as he's going like down, like if the ball actually ever hits the ground, because from what I recall, it was always showing like Colston Loveland's side, like
Yeah.
the backside of him. And then he like rolls over, and then you see like the ball kind of end up in, with the Green Bay defender. So it's,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened when the ball was sandwiched between the players, but I mean, but again, like to your point, like, is that a catch? Because if it is, then it is a fumble, but I don't know.
At this point, incompetence is so like, it is, the refs are just incompetent.
Yeah.
I'm cool with understanding that. They're not going to change. We've been complaining about the refs for 20 years.
Yeah, I
So-
know. Probably for the rest of our lives.
But good game though.
It was a great game, and I agree with you. It feels like the rivalry is alive and strong, and it's a funny thing because the Bears are really, I mean, I'll speak for myself, but I'm just along for the ride right now. Like, this season has already been a win for me. And if we can ride this momentum going similar to how we did the 2017, 2018 season, great. Let's do it. But when I look at the bigger picture, and the pieces in place. And I mean, not having Rome was just also super devastating for me. But the pieces in place, and I mean, we got little flashes of Luther Burden, which kind of tells me that DJ is probably going to be on his way out here, but
because he has the similar role as
But again, like pieces in place, the young Caleb, Ben Johnson, who's just continuously, thrusting anything he can on Caleb, and Caleb's handling it with poise. Like I said, I just think we're one off season away for Caleb just really perfecting his accuracy
as well.
And if we just have a freaking pass rusher too, that would be great.
Yeah.
But super excited for what's to come in the future
2 weeks.
of this division is.
In 2 weeks, we get to see each other.
Yeah, I know.
They better flex us into prime time.
They already did.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, it's a Saturday night game now.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so it's a Saturday night primetime game now.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of us is going to be pissed.
So, alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and do a week 15 preview here. So, this Sunday we got the Browns playing in Chicago. That game makes me nervous because obviously we know the Browns defense. Myles Garrett, oh my god, bro, that guy's crazy. So now that's back-to-back weeks that we have to just go against.
He's gonna try to break the
best
record.
Pass rushers in the NFL. Thanks a lot, everybody. But yeah, I'm curious to see Shedeur Sanders because I haven't really been able to watch him much. So
I like him.
Yeah.
I mean, he still turns the ball over a little bit, but I like him. He's better than the little one, the freaking Oompa Loompa dude. Freaking, what's his name? Gabriel?
Yeah. I think it's
Dylan Gabriel, yeah.
Yep. Alrighty. Our next matchup,
he's my height,
we have the Packers going into the Mile High City to play the Broncos. That should be a good one.
They're the number 1 seed in the whole NFL.
So yeah, it's like this QB class, bro. Yeah, and the Broncos defense is scary.
I think that this is these last 3 weeks have been, are we actual contenders? Because the Bears are no joke in my opinion. The Lions still dangerous offense. I think the Broncos are the combination of like defense and pass rush. Like they're an impossible team to throw on too. With Surtain.
Yeah, the Broncos, they're looking real good right now. Shout out to Vicky. Probably very happy right now. And then our next NFC North matchup is, this is another good one. Lions coming our way to play the Rams. So that'll
Matthew
be
Stafford.
That'll be yeah.
Oh yeah, Eddie was telling me about this game. They're coming here, but
Eddie, I thought you wanted to go to this game. What's happening with that?
He's telling me that it's like ridiculously expensive prices.
Oh my god, I had to put out a second mortgage to go to the Rams game. Not literally, but
all NFC North games are like that. They're so expensive.
Yeah, it's
and then you see like all these other teams, like they have like $60 tickets. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's why I like to go to like other cities to watch the Bears.
Yes.
Anyway, and then we have a Sunday night matchup. The Vikings are going into Dallas to play the Cowboys. So all NFC North is on the road this week, except for the Bears playing at home versus the Broncos. So, which I think is kind of exact opposite of last week because all of the NFC North played at home except for the Bears who played in Lambeau. So, alrighty. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the episode. Again, we say it every week, but the final stretch of this season, things are gonna fluctuate week to week. I'm very curious to see how. Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous about this Lions team. I'm nervous about. I don't want it to come down to week 18 Bears Lions.
Yeah.
It's only one goes into the playoffs. I'm hoping the Lions get eliminated by then.
There's a chance. Oh yeah, I hope so too. By the way, but there's a chance that we could have that being a playoff game because either one of you makes it to the playoffs, and in that same world, the Eagles and the Chiefs don't make the Super Bowl. I mean, Super Bowl, the playoffs at all.
Yeah.
That would be a great year.
Yeah, interesting stuff for sure. Alrighty, well, that'll do it for the NFC North West Coast edition, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, follow us on Instagram, NFC North.West Coast edition. Follow the YouTube channel, subscribe. Subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, and send us fun facts because we want to feature them. If you know some fun facts for the NFC North,
we'll put them on our TikTok.
Yeah, send them our way. And tune in this weekend. Another great slate of games for us. So peace out, everybody. Deuces.
Bye, guys. Toyota-thon.
Da Bears.
Go pack up. Toyota-thon.
Da Bears.
You'll do this for hours, Toyota.
Da Bears.
Go pack up.
All right, we're too long now.
Yeah.